The fate of humanity is now in your hands.
Can't be too careful these days. The world has gone bloody mad.
I'll take two.
Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is my review of Tomb Raider. Now it's been many years since we've had a Tomb Raider film come out, and this one is primarily, very loosely, based on the Square Enix fantastic Tomb Raider game, which surfaced back in, I believe, 2015 is when the first one came out. And that game really reinvigorated the franchise because it made it more of an adventure game. You got to explore this mysterious island, figure out what the heck is happening, and you had this really cool supernatural adventure that you got to take Lara Croft on and really get to see her origin story, see how she became the survivor that she was meant to be. And that game was actually my game of the year for 2015 because I loved it so much. The story was so deeply engrossing that I just fell in love with it instantly. So does this film have the same effect, and does it have the potential to live up to the game somehow? Let's find out. Alicia Vikander, she stars as Lara Croft in this movie. I thought she did a fairly good job. She is an Oscar-winning actress. She can handle really good material. I think the script is really what fails this film. I think it really should have focused more on the survival aspect of Lara Croft on this island. They showed how she got there in flashbacks and had a relatively similar story. Because for about the first half hour of this movie, it's just kind of a setup thing, eventually getting her to this island, and it spends very little time on her actual surviving out in the wilderness and figuring out how to save people and figure out what's going on with Trinity and things of that sort. It's all very, very fast, and she's rarely alone. So it didn't really feel like the film felt like she could do these scenes on her own or live up to them, so much like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant. I think it should have had that level of intensity along with maybe like Kindness Everdeen level archery skills and things mixed in from the actual game. I think that would have been a lot better and made it more accurate to the source material. Walton Goggins, he serves as the main villain of this film. He did fine. I thought the only really redeemable thing about him is that he's not pure evil per se. He's doing this for a reason. He's working for Trinity to try to find this sacred tomb, essentially, for a reason. He has these two little girls at home that he's trying to get back to. Essentially, it's brought up once or twice throughout the film. So you see that he does have a reason why he's doing what he's doing, but he's still a person who will kill somebody just in the blink of an eye without hesitation. So he's still an evil person. But that little fact does kind of set him apart from other traditional villains, I would say. The combat sequences, when they are in this movie, they actually work pretty well. I enjoyed seeing them on screen. They're choreographed pretty well and pretty nicely. The problem is that they really don't occur that often, and for a movie which is based on a game which really focuses on the stealth aspect and action and things of that sort, it really feels like a bore and really an unexciting time after a while, after you just see a lot of dialogue sequences and not a lot happening. And without going into spoilers, there are changes made to Laura's character as well as to the main story that this film is based on, which really aggravated me as somebody who really enjoyed the first game. And it just seemed like something that they felt like they had to do to make the film more appealing to the general audience. Instead of focusing on Laura trying to find her shipwrecked crew and stop Trinity from doing what they're doing. And they even took out supernatural elements, which was really disappointing, because that was one thing I was looking forward to maybe enjoying, is seeing supernatural warriors coming up and seeing them have to be taken down in some way or fashion. But they just really get rid of that whole plot line in favor of something which in and of itself is clever enough, but it was just a letdown ultimately, as someone, again, who has played the game and really enjoys the game. And that's who is primarily going to go out and see this thing opening weekend, is fans of the original game. And so when you don't have the fans on your side, you're not going to get general moviegoers probably on your side afterwards. And last thing I gotta say, this movie is pretty predictable. There were times where I could pretty much just count off or snap my fingers right when somebody was about to get killed, because it was just so predictable when it was going to happen. I've seen enough movies, I guess, by this point that it's easy to just tell when these things are going down. But it was really unfortunate just how predictable the story was for me. So guys, Tomb Raider, I really found it really disappointing, ultimately. I think if you are somebody who has not really experienced Tomb Raider at all before, like not played any of the games and doesn't really know any of the lore aside from Lara Croft being the main protagonist, you might have a fun time with it. But ultimately, if you're a fan of this franchise whatsoever, you're not really going to enjoy it. I'll be kind of surprised if this thing gets a sequel. I will go watch the sequel because I'd be curious what they do with Rise of the Tomb Raider, assuming that's what they would do for a follow-up to this. And needless to say, I'll be playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider in September a lot more than I'll be watching this film. So guys, those are my thoughts on Tomb Raider 11 years in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, fair, comment, and subscribe once again if so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, married people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.